Hello, social media. I'm excited because I want to share with you, for those of you who have been supporting me and following me and so forth, that my book, Peace, Power, and Miracles, the second edition, is coming out in March. Yay! And if you purchase the first one through Kindle, I seriously hope you'll consider looking into the second edition. It's a lot more comprehensive, it offers a lot more information, it gives a lot more examples, and to really help connect the dots and to fill in places that I missed the first time around. So I think there's some really important aspects to it in the second edition, and that is happening in March. So I'm very excited about that. But I did think that, miracles, the Course in Miracles says that miracles are a natural occurrence, and when they're not occurring, something has gone wrong. And what has really gone wrong is that we have gotten out of alignment with our source. And our source is our higher self. You came into this world as an idea. The life force in you had an idea of you and how you would be expressed in this life. And so is living as you, in you, through you in this lifetime. So when we get out of alignment with that divine idea of who and what we are and what we came here for, and it might not just be one thing. In fact, I don't always think it's one thing. I think life moves along, and we often are meant for many things. But when we're following that higher self, we experience the fullest life expression that we can possibly feel. And that is the life of miracles. It is where things come into our life. It is where things flow into our life. It's when we feel good about our life. It's when our hearts are open and things are meaningful. And it is when we have the greatest fulfillments. And it really is our deepest desire. Course of Love says that you are a divine idea. You are an idea of God. And it is this idea that you seek. And really, that's when we feel the most fulfilled in our life, is when we feel we've been used on some higher plane. That's being in alignment with your source. That's being in alignment with love. So what I talk about in this book, and what I wanted just to start to share with you, is I started to call this Miracle Mondays because I thought, everybody deserves how to know to get back into miracles. I certainly don't do it perfectly, but I practice it regularly. And more, it is just a more natural state of being. So I want to share that with you. So today I want to talk about 2 ways to raise your vibration. And, that's raising your energetic vibration to getting back into the alignment of the highest vibration. The highest vibration, right below enlightenment, is peace. And so when we can get into our peace, we get into our power. And that's where miracles happen, because we're in alignment with the higher self who sees our world totally different. It's like seeing the world riding in the HOV lane versus like the slow lane with traffic and so forth. So we're just flying high, seeing the fields of flowers, thinking life is good and adventurous, and that's what we want to get in alignment with. So 2 ways to get in alignment and raise your vibration are through your thoughts and through your emotions. That's what the book talks about, the 3 awarenesses: the awareness of thought, the awareness of emotion, and the awareness of heart. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about the 2. So the awareness of thought, these are the thoughts that we think, the beliefs that go on in our life every day. And sometimes they're expansive, sometimes they're limited. Oftentimes these are just learned beliefs, because we came into the world fully knowing that, hey, anything's possible. There is no limit to the source inside of me. Really, the source that created the universe, can't take care of things in your life? I don't know about that. So to get in alignment, we have to start to look at and become aware of our thoughts. What am I thinking? What am I believing about this situation? And right away you can tell if you're in alignment with your peace and power and miracles, or if you're not. Because you can tell that, does this thought bring up fear? Or does this thought bring me peace? See, some people feel like the opposite of love is fear, but fear is just really the amnesia that we just forgot how to be in alignment with our source. We forgot that we already were in alignment. And so we kind of looked in a different direction, but meanwhile, we could just look in this direction. So when you're looking at your thoughts, whatever one feels more constrictive and more fearful, that's not how your higher self is seeing the situation. It's also not the truth of the situation. It is a false belief, and it is false. And that is probably the biggest step that we can begin to take with our belief system, is to say, you know what, this can't be true, because only love is real. As A Course in Miracles says, only love is real. So the thought that feels lighter, that feels freer, the thought that brings relief, That is the truth. That's how your higher self sees a situation. So you can discern that way. Am I out of alignment or am I in alignment? The second thing is your awareness of your emotions. Now, we all have these wounds that happen in our life. We have these places that we've been hurt, we've been betrayed, we've been abandoned, and so forth. And those close our heart. And they leave feelings in our body. And the feeling is energy. Emotion is energy in motion. But whenever it's not in motion, whenever it wasn't able to pass through our body, it gets stuck. This is where we get into patterns. This is where things come into our life, situations, circumstances, and we find ourselves reacting in the same way that we did, like if you say, well, gee, I just dated the same guy 3 times in a row. Yeah, you probably did. You're following a certain pattern based on the stuck energy, the wound inside of you. So in order to raise the vibration and to get that energy moving again when it comes to emotions, it is to experience the feeling. It is not just to feel the feeling, but to experience the feeling. There's a difference, and I go into it in the book, but there's a difference. When you experience a feeling, you are actually, if you experience an emotion, you are actually having a direct experience of that emotion. You're actually sitting with that emotion and facing that emotion. And that's different from just feeling the emotion, because sometimes we just stop when we feel it. But when you experience it, you're bringing in 2 very important elements. You're bringing in self-acceptance and compassion. And these are elements of the higher self. It provides a container in order to hold those emotions in a very loving, welcoming way. Because remember, they're wounds, right? They're wounds, and we want to be nice to the wounds. We want to treat the wounds. We want to kiss the boo-boo, so to speak. So that's going to help have that energy pass through our body so we can go back to an elevated state of having our heart open and having ourselves feel lighter and freer and just more joyous and more peaceful. Now, that doesn't mean you don't experience negative emotions, because that's important. Life's kind of like a GPS. We grow, we expand, and something outgrows. And in order to move on, we have to experience the things that might be holding us back. So those are very important, but we got to know how to hold that. So 2 ways to raise your vibrations today. Check out your thoughts, lighter or heavier. Love, fear. In alignment, out of alignment. Emotions, I got to feel this. I can't run from it. I can't ignore it. I can't think my way out of this. This is something that has to be felt. It's not a thought. This is something that has to be felt. Because when you can regain your peace, when you're back in alignment, you know it, because there's peace inside of you, no matter what your circumstances are. No matter what, believe me, I've been through things that I can't even imagine how I felt peaceful through the whole experience, and yet there it was, because I was in alignment. I've also been out of alignment, which has been basically suffering. So when we can pull ourselves back into alignment, regain our peace, we actually connect to that greater power. And that's where miracles exist. Now, some people say, but how do you know if it's just a thought that you can let go of versus a feeling that has to be felt? Because we get the idea of the law of attraction. Oh, this is bad. I don't want to feel this way. I'm just going to draw more things to me. But that's not it. That's not the way the law of attraction works. And I explain that more in the book. But how do I know if it's a feeling that I need to feel or face, or if it's a thought that I just need to get out of the habit of thinking? And that I will tell you in the next Miracle Monday. So thank you, social media, and thank you really everybody who's been supporting me through this. I'm very, very grateful, and I hope you have a wonderful, blessed, miraculous day.